George, can you help me set up my recording studio?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Where voiceover talent are stuck in their closets.
Is there a way to improve the quality of my audio files?
Oh yeah.
And they need to deliver finished audio tracks.
You are my hero.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet.
There is one man who takes it all on.
Video time, excellent, Whittam's World.
Whittam's World, rated VO.
Hey everyone, this is George Whittam reporting for Whittam's World, this time from the mothership. I'm here in Edge Studio in their meeting room, and it's great to be in New York. One of the wonderful things about working for a New York company is you get to come to New York and be a part of the action down here. And this week I'm here specifically to attend the AES trade show. That's the Audio Engineering Society show. So by the time you guys have seen this, the show will have been passed, but that's why I'm here. So I'll be covering the show with a lot of footage, so hopefully by now you've probably seen some of it, and I'll be rolling out some more of it as time goes on. This week I've got more and more questions that have been flowing in, thanks to you guys for sending them in. And so I've picked a question this time from Scott D. Opalewski, and I'm sorry Scott if I've screwed that up. He goes by Scotty D, let's put it that way. I can see why, because nobody can probably say his last name. Let me read the email real quick and I'll get right to it. Big fan of EWABs, thanks, my other little show. He's been following us on Edge Studio, thanks a lot. My question is about USB I/O devices. I am a fan of simplicity in the audio chain, but I also want some flexibility. I currently run an Alesis Multimix 4 USB into my MacBook Pro. I've had it for about 3 years now. It works well, but is obviously a bit aged. I'm looking for recommendations around a new USB mixer with a built-in mic preamp, gain on the channel, and also phantom power. Primarily use this interface for VO work into Twisted Wave and also video production and live video streaming on YouTube and Ustream. If it has an auxiliary in and out, that's an added bonus. Obviously, I'm not looking to spend a mint for this new mixer, but also do not want the bottom of the barrel of the hardware, as I plan on having it in place for the next 3 to 4 years. Thanks for your insight and suggestion. There's a lot of ways to go about getting audio into the computer, and obviously the main methodologies, especially if you're on a Mac, you're going to be looking at USB or FireWire. I've pretty much kind of said goodbye to FireWire, and obviously Apple has. They don't even have a FireWire port on any of their current new models. It just seems that Apple is starting to leave FireWire behind. It seems like they're having more support issues. At least I have had more support issues with FireWire than ever. So USB definitely seems to be the logical choice. The Alesis Multimix 4 USB, I'll put a picture of it right up here, it's a very basic audio mixer. It's barely a mixer. It only has a couple of inputs. To make something to be a true mixer, it has to have more than one input, and you have to be able to combine those different inputs and mix them together into a common output. That would define a mixer. So based on your request here, Scotty, I can't really tell if you actually even need a mixer, because you're telling me in this thing you want to plug a mic into a computer is basically what you're saying here. And if that's the case, you really don't need a mixer at all. I mean, in fact, I would maybe recommend using a dedicated USB audio interface, something like the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. That's a really great option at a very good price of about $150, maybe less. It's got 2 mic inputs, so if you needed to have a second mic for a second person, you've got it covered. And so it's, that might really all you really need. But you're saying you want flexibility, and you're saying if it has aux in and out, that is an added bonus. Well, that is really the dividing line between the more amateur or home musician type mixers and the more capable mixers, is the ability to have an auxiliary send or more than one auxiliary send. And in the compact mixer world, there are a couple options with the USB. One of them is Behringer. They make the Xenix 1204, I think is what it's called. And it's a USB mixer, and it's not bad. Actually, for what it costs, it's quite a capable little piece of equipment. And for whatever you have to say about Behringer products, some people just have an issue with their products in general. But it's really not a bad piece of gear. I have a couple clients that have them, and none of them have bugged me about failures or problems yet. So I'd say it's a pretty good track record. Other USB mixers, Mackie does make a USB mixer. It's going to be probably about twice as expensive. I'll find the model number. I can't remember what it is right off the top of my head. It's, I think, called the CFX12 or something like that. And that design of a mixer is really intended for live musicians that just want to record themselves during a live show. It's got features that you never would need in a home studio, like built-in effects processing. Who needs that for home voiceover recording? Or a graphic equalizer. Again, don't need these features. So it's got things you don't need in it, and that's kind of one reason I kind of shy away from it. I've yet to find the perfect, ultimate USB-based or interfaced audio mixer for voiceover. If you really want to spend a little bit more, go into more pro-level equipment. Allen & Heath makes the XB14 and the XB10, I believe it is. I'll show a picture of those up here too. And those are really designed for broadcast. So they're made a lot, they're built a lot better, and they have the USB built in, but they have a lot more dedicated features, like a dedicated effects loop, or what they call in radio parlance a mix minus. That's specifically for plugging into like a phone hybrid, phone patch, and it can also be used for ISDN. So it's got a few extra bells and whistles, but it's quite a step up in price after you get out of the Behringer and Mackie range of equipment. But just think about it. Do you need a mixer? Do you need to combine multiple signals? And do you want that extra flexibility of being able to maybe use Skype as a phone patch and give playback to the client? And if you want those kind of functions, you definitely want to use an actual mixer as opposed to just a USB interface. The auxiliary send capabilities is a really powerful feature that allows you to easily do things like phone patches or using Skype as a phone patch, and give you the ability to do that little extra that clients seem to be expecting these days of playing back your audio so it can be heard over Skype on the other end. I'll go into more details about Skype setups in another time, but I think that pretty much covers it. So thanks very much for sending in your questions, Scotty. I appreciate it. And anybody else that wants to have their questions answered on the show, please send me an email at whittamsworld@edgestudio.com, and I'll be glad to check it out as a possible topic for a future show. And if you just need to get an answer, or you just want to have some more one-to-one help or support, or you have a more urgent issue, whatever, if those are the situations for you and you really want to get more in depth, please by all means look me up over at vostudiotech.com. That's where all the information about working with me is located. And someday vostudiotech.com will be part of Edge. So for now, vostudiotech.com is where you go. Thanks again. This has been George Whittam for Whittam's World, and I'll see you guys next week.